A while back, I did a video on the top 5 most common mistakes that guys make when they're getting a divorce, and here they are. All of them. All were about helping you move forward and arriving to your closure. As I continue to coach divorcing men, though, it's clear that there's one colossal and very common mistake that I must both address and discuss on how to avoid, because it can lead to you going to jail, loss of property, career, and even losing your children. And no, it's not hiring the wrong divorce coach, nor is it hiring the wrong attorney. So what is the biggest mistake that men can make when getting divorced? Let's find out, and let's start revving that engine. Hey everyone, my name's Rene, spelled like the channel The Renaissance Man, and I'm a men's divorce coach. If you're going through a divorce and don't know where to begin, then I'm going to tell you this. Karma right now just looked at you and gave you a big-ass kiss on the lips. Mwah! Because you really want to pay attention to what I'm about to say, because this is going to be more of a cautionary tale that could go really, really wrong. And unfortunately, you may just find out the hard way. If you're going through a divorce, find some resources. Start with my channel by subscribing, then join my Facebook group. It's one of the fastest growing men's support group on the platform. It's free and confidential. And last, even before paying that retainer fee to your future attorney, make an appointment for a free one-on-one with me. The reason is simple. I help guide you with a host of questions to ask when interviewing attorneys. After the meeting, you're going to feel empowered and more of a layer of hope. Just click on the link that's in the comment section underneath. All right, so here's the dealio. The biggest mistake one can make, and also very common, as I'll get into later, is thinking that you know the person that you're divorcing. Truth is, you don't know who you marry until you divorce them. Let me say that again. You don't know who you marry until you divorce them. And both of my exes, different people during the divorce. They both surprised me. So here's what happened, and I'll tell you in a few why I'm telling you this. During my first divorce, I thought she was going to play nice, but she didn't even play by the rules. Safe to say that I got played like a disposable dildo, if there is such a thing. The silver lining is that she is the mother of my children, so the way I saw it, that money I was giving to her was also going to my boys. But she was so far ahead in the planning that she had hacked my email for months before I left, and she knew what I was going to talk to before going into every meeting. Now, that crippled me. She knew my plan A, plan B, and plan C. As for my attorney, I hired a golden retriever when I should have hired a Rottweiler. My second one, she had the emotional intelligence of the silicone that's implanted on her breast. So she only managed to inconvenience me by $12,000 coming out of my pocket for the attorney fees. Now, I'm telling you this because, well, I thought both divorces were going to be amicable, and especially the second divorce. She surprised the shit out of me because, well, I thought her cheating and stealing would at least make her feel a little bit bad about the situation, but she came at me was looking at a 6-figure settlement and alimony. I mean, that was just too much. Surprising. You don't know who you marry until you divorce them. Point is that while you're too busy thinking that you could work things out, your ex, she's already declaring a covert war on you. It's going to be normal to have nightmares about her or about her attorney. And remember that Facebook group that I invited you to? This one right here? I took a poll with the men, and nearly 50% said that they were very misguided as to their ex. She fought harder and stronger, and she resorted to cheap shots more than expected. Nearly 50%. That compared to 19% of them saying that their ex was reasonable and it was amicable. But you know what I think? It's just a hunch that many of them, they hired a divorce coach. Data shows that women outnumber men in hiring divorce coaches by a margin of 3-to-1. So let's get this straight. Women leave the marriage, women are favored in our court system, and yet they have the state of mind to hire a divorce coach. For every one of you, there's 3 of them seeking professional help. I'll tell you this about women's divorce coaches too. I've tried to collaborate with them, and many of them, they're a bunch of hotheads, and that's what you're up against. So as you underestimate your competition, we fail to recognize that some of the divorces are going to take much longer than expected. Many guys, we stay in limbo here. Many will wait till the divorce is final, signed, and sealed to move on or to accept that the marriage is over. But that's tragic because you have to continue to live. Please remember my next statement. The divorce is over when the divorce papers are signed, but the marriage, it ended as soon as the divorce papers were filed. And that's why, for your safety and protection, you must think of yourself as divorced as soon as the papers are filed, not when they're signed. Once the papers are filed, your relationship with what's left of your spouse, it's now completely different. Before you know it, property that you think it's rightfully yours, it's going to get split down the middle. This is especially true if your ex is a stay-at-home mom. Just think of Tiger Woods and his ex, Ellen Nordegren. She gave up a very promising career as an aspiring nanny to become a stay-at-home mom and ultimately was awarded $100 million. Now everybody's talking about Tiger's philandering, but no one is talking about how on their home in Florida, she kicked the shit out of him while he was passed out on Ambien and tried to, as he tried to leave the hostile situation, she get a golf club and proceeded to take that same anger to beat the crap out of that Escalade. Here's one side. Here's the other side. Then he hit a fire hydrant in a tree. The date you filed should informally become the date of your divorce, because the understatement of this video is that divorce is wrong long. Many for years. California and Florida both no-fault divorce states take an average of 15 months for a divorce. Out in California, and my first divorce took 2.5 years, while the second one took about 15 months. I think that's why people have divorce parties, not because they got divorced, but because they finally finished the fucking process. As soon as the divorce gets filed, gents, seriously, your relationship must be treated as though it's dead, because it is. Some people, they describe the distribution of marital property as a company that's gone under and it's distributing their assets properly. But me, I see it more as though you're the president of a country in crisis that's just been violently and chaotically overthrown, and everyone, and by everyone I mean your future ex, is out there to get all that you had. She's looting you. Hold on a second, it's my attorney. Hey, how's it going, Jeff? What? My ex wants my cat Fluffy? Why? She hates Fluffy. Because she knows I love him. Oh, the humanity. Fair or not ethics, it don't matter in court. Especially if you live in one of the 17 no-fault states in the U.S. like Florida and California mentioned above. So even if you don't want your marriage to end, you must start protecting yourself, or you can lose everything, up to and including your kids. And yeah, I have seen it happen. You know, if I had to do it all over again, I would have protected myself much more. And I can't think of one guy that I've spoken with that wouldn't do the same. In particular with my second spouse, who was going after my retirement. My retirement was sacrilege. That's my children's inheritance. So if I could do it all over, before filing, I would have taken out everything on my married trade account, borrowed against my 401k to make her responsible in paying it back, or at least use it as leverage in bargaining. Hidden or lost whatever cryptocurrency I had at my disposal, kept legal documents necessary, and have her go after them, collect her back statements, change my passwords to any accounts like my emails, and that's just from the top of my head. You know what family judges usually do when one spouse uses questionable tactics? Usually, they give a verbal warning. Kind of like the parent that tells their kids to stop or else. That's what family judges are like, usually. Your divorce started the minute that she said she wanted out, but your marriage ended that very same day. And don't wait till the divorce is finalized to begin living. Thinking otherwise, it's going to hurt you both financially and emotionally. And let's face it, we're too old for this shit. As men, we use honor and vow as words to keep our spouse, but stop bullshitting yourself. You didn't do it for honor. You did it because you love her, and there's nothing wrong with that. But be suspicious of what you want, because it can cost you. When it comes to underestimating your ex's declaration of war, you have to worry about your own safety as well. As a coach, that's what literally keeps me up at night. Think of this scenario. You two, you're cohabitating, you're miserable, lots of back and forth. When suddenly she gets an idea. She proceeds to request and receive a temporary restraining order, or worse. She makes allegations that you abuse her or your child. Now you're fucked. You're really fucked, because now you have to move out of the house, meaning that your visitation with your children is severely limited. And now you have to get a criminal attorney. Even if she's making this shit up, the consequences of her getting in trouble for lying are basically non-existent. Remember what I said earlier? You know what family judges usually do when one spouse uses questionable tactics? Usually, they give a verbal warning. I know that this is a civil case, but the same concept was Amber Heard. She had all those doctor picture and those lies and perjured herself, but she's not in jail. If this was a criminal case, that's different, but this is civil. I hate to say it, but if you're cohabitating, you have to protect yourself. You have to use your phone to record any communication or use a body camera. This is for your protection, and guess what? Even that may not be enough to help you. So any communication that she has where she's calling you like an asshole or anything like that, just be the victim. Just say like that she's scaring you, that you're worried, that you're concerned. My data shows that in 25% of divorces, the police gets called. When they do, 4% of the time, the men go to jail, 2% the women go to jail. If she hits you or touches you, swallow your pride, man. Call the police. You're going to regret not doing so if you don't. However, if she calls the police for some stupid-ass fight, then this is what you do. You go to a room, you lock the door, and you call 911, and you say that your ex is calling the police and you're worried about false allegations. What I wasn't aware of is that the 911 dispatch rooms, they have some very sophisticated sound systems. So if she yells or anything, it's going to get caught by the operator. It's going to be recorded. I was always told that women were more complicated than men, that they think different and are capable of some dark things. I mean, women will regularly say that about other women. But being an optimist, I didn't believe it. I didn't buy it. After all the stories that I've heard, a female telling her husband that he's not the dad, only to tell him 6 years later that he is. The countless temporary restraining orders, their false allegations, they're beating the shit out of their husbands, they're cheating, they're fucked up no-fault laws, using their children as negotiating pawns. I've heard it all. I know you want to hear some good news, but right now you're in a precarious situation. Know that the minute that she says that she wants a divorce, you owe it to yourself to watch after your best interest. This is especially true if you have children with someone else from a previous relationship, because it could fuck them up. Guys, if you're going through a divorce, go to the comment section, click on the link, or join our Facebook group and make a one-on-one. I can assure you, you're going to walk out feeling a fuckload better than you did walking in. You come out with answers. I'm that good. Surely you're going to see a picture that looks like this, but it's going to be in your lower left corner of the screen. Click on it, and it'll take you to the same place to make an appointment and to join our group. Thank you very much.